The year is 1412. Night has settled over the small medieval village. It did not arrive suddenly. It never does. It came the way it always comes here, slowly, quietly, without announcement. First softening the edges of things, then loosening the details, then gently taking the day away. The sky dimmed by degrees too small to notice at first. Colours drained from the world, not all at once, but patiently. The last warmth of daylight lingered on stone and wood, held there for a time before slipping away. Shapes remain, even now. But they are simpler, less demanding. Houses are no longer collections of beams and walls and doors. They are silhouettes, familiar forms resting in the dark. The road is no longer a path of ruts and dust, but a smooth ribbon of shadow stretching between them. Sound, too, has loosened its grip. The last voices faded some time ago. The final conversation ended without ceremony. Laughter did not echo. It simply stopped, as if it had never been there at all. Now there is only the quiet. The doors are closed, heavy wooden doors, thick and solid, darkened by years of hands and weather, pressed firmly into their frames. They closed one by one as evening deepened, each with its own soft sound, wood against wood, iron against iron, until there were no more left to shut. Inside the cottages, fires have been banked low. Ash has been drawn carefully over glowing coals, holding just enough warmth to last through the night. Not flames, not light, only embers, resting beneath their cover, breathing slowly. From a few chimneys, thin lines of smoke still rise. They lift lazily into the dark air, pale and faint, drifting upward until they dissolve completely into the night. No one watches them. No one needs to. They have risen this way every night for as long as anyone can remember. The street is empty now. Packed earth stretches between the houses, worn smooth by countless footsteps. Years of walking have pressed it flat and familiar. Today's prints are already gone, softened by evening air and settling dust. No new steps mark it. Daylight has fully withdrawn, and with it the movements of work and obligation. No carts roll, no doors open, no one crosses from one side of the village to the other. Only a soft glow remains, a thin line of light beneath a shutter here, a dim warmth leaking through a doorway there. Small, contained, private. The air is cool, but not sharp. It rests gently against the skin, neither urging nor resisting. It carries the faint sense of earth, wood smoke, and old straw, blended together into something steady and familiar. The sounds of the day have faded completely. No voices, no calling across the street, no tools, no animals stirring. Only the subtle creak of wood settling as temperatures drop, and the quiet rustle of leaves far beyond the edge of the village, where trees move without being seen. Inside one of the cottages, a woman moves slowly near the hearth. Her steps are unhurried, quiet, familiar. She stirs the coals once with an iron rod. The embers respond briefly, glowing red and orange, then easing back into stillness. She watches them for a moment, long enough to be sure they are settled, then sets the rod aside exactly where it belongs. She has done this every night for many years. The room around her is simple. A bench runs along one wall, its surface polished smooth by time. A table stands near the center, marked by scratches and dents that no one notices anymore. A few wooden bowls rest neatly where they always do, stacked with care. Nothing here is new. Nothing here needs attention. Everything has its place. Everything rests within it. She lifts a clay jug from the table and pours water into a small cup. The sound is soft and brief. She drinks slowly, pausing between swallows, letting the quiet return fully before lowering the cup again. The fire shifts once, barely audible. Shadows stretch along the walls as the embers dim, then draw back, settling into their final shapes for the night. In the corner, a narrow bed waits. Its wooden frame is sturdy, worn smooth, where hands have touched it year after year. A heavy woolen blanket lies folded across it, thick and coarse, holding the faint scent of smoke and straw. The woman pulls the blanket back and smooths it once with her hand. Just once. That is enough. She sits on the edge of the bed. The wood creaks softly beneath her weight, a familiar sound that belongs to this room as much as the walls and hearth do. It does not surprise her. It does not disturb the quiet. For a moment, she listens. There is nothing to hear, only the faint hiss of cooling embers, only the sound of her own breathing, slow, even, unrushed. She lies down and pulls the blanket up over her shoulders, turns onto her side. The straw mattress rustles quietly, then goes still. Her eyes close. The fire gives one last dull glow, then fades further beneath the ash. The room settles, holding its shape without effort. Outside, the village darkens completely. Clouds have covered the moon, leaving no light behind. There are no lamps, no torches. Darkness rests fully across the roofs and walls. Cottages stand outlined against the sky, rough timber walls, thatched roofs heavy with age. Some sag slightly, others show patches of newer straw carefully woven in. All of them are quiet. The dirt path curves between the houses and bends toward the fields, now lost entirely in shadow. No one walks there, no sound follows it. A wooden gate near the edge of the village shifts once in the breeze, then rests again, satisfied. Near the center of the village, the well stands silent. Old stones form a low circle, their surfaces worn smooth by countless hands, drawing water day after day, year after year. The rope hangs down into darkness, perfectly still. The bucket below is unseen, waiting without movement. The water rests deep and cold. At the far edge of the village, a dog lies curled against a low stone wall. Its body is tucked tightly into itself, sharing warmth with a stone beneath. Its breathing is slow and even, rising and falling without pause. It has chosen this place, as it has many nights before. Nothing approaches, nothing calls. The village settles. Night has fully arrived, and with it, a long, unbroken quiet begins. The village remains quiet as the night settles more deeply into its shape. Nothing has changed since the woman lay down to rest, and yet everything feels more settled now. The stillness has spread slowly, the way warmth spreads through stone after a fire has burned for hours. It moves without sound, without effort, passing gently from house to house, from room to room, resting wherever breath continues quietly in the dark. The village does not resist it. In a small cottage near the well, a child sleeps. The bed is narrow and set low to the ground, built simply, built to last. Its wooden frame is plain and sturdy, smoothed by time and use. A thin blanket covers the child's body, tucked carefully along the sides, just as it is every night. One arm rests above the blanket, loose and relaxed, the hand open, fingers slightly curled. The child's breathing is soft and regular. Each breath arrives gently, pauses, and then leaves again, never hurried, never delayed. The rhythm does not falter. It has found its pace and keeps it without effort. The room is dark, but it is not unfamiliar. The walls are close, offering comfort rather than confinement. The ceiling hangs low overhead, its beams hidden in shadow, known by memory rather than sight. This room has held many nights like this one. It knows how to be still. It knows how to wait. Near the hearth, stones still hold the faintest memory of warmth. Not enough to feel with the hand, but enough to sense, enough to remain present. The ashes lie pale and undisturbed, resting exactly as they were left. Nothing stirs them now. Nothing needs to. At the foot of the bed, a wooden chest rests where it always has. Its surface is worn smooth by years of hands opening and closing the lid. The wood is darkened with age, softened by touch. Inside are simple things: folded cloth, a spare tunic, a small toy carved from wood into the shape of a horse. The lid does not close tightly. It never has. It rests slightly askew, just enough to remind anyone who notices that this chest has been opened many times and will be opened again. It keeps what it holds without needing to be sealed. The child does not wake, does not turn. Sleep has settled firmly now, deep and unbroken, the kind of sleep that does not drift easily toward waking. The body rests fully within it, supported by bed, by room, by the quiet that surrounds everything. Outside, the village has grown darker. The clouds overhead have thickened, closing off what little light remained. The outlines of cottages soften further, their edges blending into the night until each one feels less separate from the next. Roof lines blur, walls recede. The village becomes a single, quiet shape. The street between the houses remains empty. Packed earth stretches from one end to the other, smooth and cool beneath the night air. It holds the memory of many footsteps, many days of movement and sound, but none of that belongs to this hour. Shadows rest in the shallow ruts of the path, unmoving. No sound touches the ground. A light breeze moves briefly through the eaves. It is gentle, almost unnoticeable. Just enough to stir the thatch, just enough to remind the village that air still moves, even when nothing else does. Then it passes on, leaving no trace behind. In the cottage near the fields, the woman sleeps on. She has turned slightly since lying down, settling more comfortably into the bed. Her body has found its resting place, and it no longer seeks another. The blanket rises and falls gently with each breath, moving so slowly it is easy to lose track of it. Her breathing remains slow and even. There is no tension in it, no shallow pauses. Each breath follows the one before, steady and unbroken, as though she has been breathing this way all her life. The room around her feels quieter now, not because there is less sound, but because nothing expects sound to return. The walls hold the stillness easily. The hearthstones rest in darkness. Shadows remain where they have settled. Beyond the last cottages, the fields lie open and dark. The earth rests, holding the memory of the day's work. Furrows stretch outward, unseen but familiar, waiting without urgency. No one crosses the fields now. No animal moves through them. They belong fully to the night. Near the stone wall at the edge of the village, the dog remains curled in sleep. Its body is tucked tightly into itself, sharing warmth with the stone beneath. The curve of its back fits naturally against the wall, as though the two were shaped for each other. Its breathing is slow and even, matching the rhythm of the night around it. It does not lift its head. It does not stir. This place has been chosen many times before. At the center of the village, the well stands silent. Old stones form a low circle, their surfaces worn smooth by countless hands, drawing water day after day, year after year. The rope hangs straight and still, disappearing into darkness below. The bucket is unseen, resting where it always does. The water waits, cold, deep, unmoving. Sleep has spread fully now. It rests in every cottage, in every room, in every quiet space between walls and breath. It holds the village together gently, without pressure, without demand. Nothing needs attention. Nothing needs to be done. The village rests, steady and complete, as the night continues its slow, careful passing. The village rests more fully now. Sleep has settled into its deepest shape, spreading evenly through walls and rooms, through breath and stone. Nothing presses forward, nothing pulls away. The night holds everything gently in place, without effort, without intention. Time moves differently during these hours. It does not feel measured. It does not feel counted. Moments stretch and soften, blending together until there is no clear edge between one and the next. The village does not notice this change. It does not need to. Inside the cottage near the hearth, the woman remains asleep. Her body has grown heavier with rest, sinking comfortably into the bed beneath her. The mattress holds her shape without resistance. The blanket lies smooth across her shoulders and chest, warm and steady. It no longer shifts with small movements. It rests where it has settled. Her breathing is slow, deep, even. Each breath moves quietly in and out, unbroken by thought or dream. There is no tension in her body now, no readiness, no listening for sound. Sleep holds her fully. The room feels quieter than before, not because there is less sound, but because nothing expects sound to return. The hearthstones have cooled completely. Ash lies pale and undisturbed. The faint scent of smoke remains in the air, familiar and calm, part of the room itself. The walls seem closer during these hours, not confining but protective, as though the room has drawn itself inward, holding warmth and stillness together. The ceiling feels lower. The darkness fits the space perfectly, leaving nothing uncovered. In the cottage near the well, the child sleeps on. The blanket has slipped further during the night. Both feet rest uncovered now, pale against the dark. The cool air touches them lightly, but the child does not wake. Sleep remains deep enough that the body adjusts on its own, keeping warmth where it is needed. Breathing continues, soft and regular. The chest at the foot of the bed is barely visible now, only a darker shape within shadow. Its lid sits slightly askew, just as it always has. Inside, the folded cloth and the small wooden horse remain exactly where they were placed. Morning will find them unchanged. Outside, the street appears the same as it has for hours. Empty, still. Packed earth lies smooth and cool beneath the night air. No sound touches it, no movement crosses it. The path holds its shape without effort, resting between the cottages like a quiet ribbon. The houses lean toward one another slightly, roofs heavy with thatch. Old straw and newer patches blend together, softened by darkness. Wooden shutters rest firmly in place. No light escapes from behind them. There is nothing left to see. At the edge of the village, the dog remains curled against the low stone wall. Its body forms a tight, familiar shape. Breath moves slowly in and out, fogging faintly near its nose before fading into the dark. The stones at its back are cool now, but solid and reassuring. The dog does not move, it does not listen, it sleeps. Beyond the wall, the fields lie open and dark. Rows of turned earth stretch outward, flat and waiting. They hold no movement, no sound. Only the memory of the day's work remains, resting quietly until it is needed again. The soil holds the cold without complaint. In the largest cottage, a candle still burns. The flame is small now, steady and quiet, casting a narrow pool of light across the table. Wax has gathered along the sides, thickening as it cools. The light does not reach far. Shadows hold the rest of the room. At the table beneath it, a man sits with his hands resting on the worn wood. His head has lowered slightly more than before. His shoulders have softened. Sleep is close now, hovering just behind waking, waiting without pressure. He does not hurry it. He never has. The candle flickers once, then steadies again. At the center of the village, the well remains unchanged. Damp stones ring its opening, dark and smooth. The rope hangs straight and motionless, disappearing into darkness below. The bucket is unseen. The water waits, cold and still. Above the village, clouds drift slowly across the sky. Darkness gathers between them, deep and complete. There is no moon to mark the time, no stars to count the hours. The sky offers no direction, no signal. This is the heart of the night, the deepest hours, the time when rest settles fully and the world holds its breath without effort. Nothing stirs, nothing shifts, nothing calls. The village sleeps on, steady and protected, as the night remains exactly as it is. The night continues. Nothing announces the change at first. There is no sound to mark it, no movement sharp enough to be noticed. The village looks the same as it did moments ago, as it did an hour ago. And yet, the night has begun to shift. The air cools by degrees too small to measure. Warmth thins slowly, spreading itself carefully through stone and wood, refusing to leave all at once. Walls release what they have been holding. Beams breathe out the last memory of day. The village does not resist this change. It accepts it without awareness. Inside the cottage near the hearth, the woman sleeps on. Her breathing remains slow and even, a steady rhythm that does not change with the hour. The blanket rises and falls against her shoulders, moving so gently it is easy to forget it is moving at all. Once, her hand shifts beneath the wool. Fingers curl slightly, then rest again. The movement is unconscious, brief, and complete. Sleep closes around it immediately, leaving no trace behind. The hearthstone is fully cool now. It no longer gives warmth, but it does not feel cold. It feels neutral, settled. The room holds its shape without effort. Darkness rests easily against the walls, filling the space evenly. In the cottage near the well, the child remains asleep. The uncovered feet cool slightly, then warm again as the body adjusts without waking. The blanket stays where it has fallen. Sleep is deep enough that small changes pass unnoticed. Breathing remains soft and regular. Nothing disturbs it. The wooden chest at the foot of the bed has not shifted. Its surface catches no light. Its edges are known by memory rather than sight. The toy horse inside rests exactly where it was placed. Morning will find it there again, unchanged. Outside, the street feels deeper, not darker, just fuller. The silence presses more firmly now, thick but not heavy. Even the faint suggestion of wind has withdrawn. The cottages seem closer together, as if leaning inward to share what warmth remains. The dirt path curves through the village, pale against the surrounding dark. Its surface is smooth and settled. No sound touches it. No step disturbs it. It carries nothing now except quiet. Near the edge of the village, the dog stirs. Its head lifts slightly from the stone wall. One ear flicks, listening. There's nothing to hear. No sound follows the movement. The head lowers again. The body presses back into the familiar curve of stone. Breathing resumes its slow, even rhythm. Sleep takes hold again without effort. In the largest cottage, the candle has burned lower. Wax has thickened along its sides, hardened where it cooled. The flame is shorter now, steadier, giving off less light. Shadows draw closer to the walls and linger there. The man at the table shifts his weight slightly. His shoulders relax. His head tilts forward another small degree. Sleep pulls him further away from waking, gently and without demand. His hands remain on the table. He does not notice the change in light. At the center of the village, the well stands unchanged. The stones around its opening are cool and damp. The rope hangs straight and still, disappearing into darkness below. The water waits, untouched and quiet. Beyond the last cottages, the fields lie open and dark. The turned earth holds the faint scent of soil and rest. Nothing crosses it. Nothing moves across its surface. It remains wide and patient. Above, the clouds thin slightly. Darkness feels wider now, stretched rather than heavy. There is more space in it, more room for stillness. This is the hour when the night begins to turn, not toward morning, not toward sound or light, only toward change. The village remains asleep as the shift continues, slow and careful, passing gently over roofs and walls, over breath and stone alike. Nothing stirs, nothing wakes. The night moves on, quietly carrying everything with it. The shift completes itself quietly. There is no clear moment when it happens. No sound marks its arrival. No signal announces the change. The night simply settles further into itself, steady and exact, as though it has reached the depth it has been moving toward all along. This is the coldest hour of the night. The air sharpens slightly, becoming clearer, thinner, more precise. It does not bite. It does not press. It simply exists with more definition than before. Warmth retreats into the deepest places, into bodies, into walls, into the heart of stone. Nothing loses heat all at once. Everything releases it slowly, evenly, without urgency. Inside the cottages, sleep tightens its hold. In the cottage near the hearth, the woman does not move. Her body is fully given to rest now. The weight of it sinks naturally into the bed, supported without resistance. The mattress holds her shape easily. The blanket rests heavily across her shoulders and chest, gathering what warmth remains and keeping it close. Her breathing is slower than before, deeper, more settled. Each breath arrives fully, pauses briefly, then leaves again, following the same quiet path it has followed for hours. There is no interruption, no unevenness. Sleep holds her completely. Her face is smooth and still. There is no tension in it, no trace of thought, no hint of dreaming. The muscles have softened fully, resting exactly where they should. Nothing pulls her toward waking. Nothing presses her toward movement. The room around her feels smaller now, not confined, but contained. The walls seem thicker. The ceiling feels lower. Darkness fills the space evenly, settling into every corner without leaving gaps. The hearth is cold now, its stones neutral and still. Ash lies pale and undisturbed, remembering heat without offering it. The faint scent of smoke lingers, steady and familiar. In the cottage near the well, the child sleeps on. The uncovered feet are cool now, resting quietly against the air. The coolness is noticed by the body, but not by the mind. Sleep remains deep enough that the body adjusts without waking, drawing warmth inward where it is needed most. There is a small shift beneath the blanket, so slight it barely changes the shape of the bed. Breathing continues, soft and regular, untouched by the movement. Each breath rises and falls gently, keeping the same rhythm it has held all night. The wooden chest at the foot of the bed stands silent and closed. Its surface catches no light. Its edges are softened by years of use. Inside, the folded cloth rests neatly. The small wooden horse lies where it was placed, unchanged. Nothing inside the chest needs attention. Nothing waits to be taken out. Outside, the village feels held. The street is perfectly still. Packed earth gives off no sound, no scent. The ground feels firm and settled beneath the cold air. The cottages do not creak. Shutters do not move. Doors remain closed and secure within their frames. Silence settles fully now, not empty, complete. Near the stone wall at the edge of the village, the dog remains curled tightly against the cold. Its body presses firmly into the familiar curve of stone, sharing what warmth remains between fur and rock. The shape of its body has not changed for hours. Breath clouds faintly near its nose, appearing briefly before fading back into the dark. The dog does not wake up, it does not stir. This place is known. This hour is familiar. In the largest cottage, the candle gutters for the last time. The flame wavers once, then again, growing smaller with each movement. For a moment, it holds. Then, it disappears entirely. Wax softens, then hardens as it cools, sealing the wick in place. Darkness settles fully into the room, complete, unbroken. The man at the table does not stir. His head has lowered slightly more, resting at an easy angle. His shoulders have relaxed fully, releasing their last tension. Sleep has taken him now, gently and without resistance. His hands remain where they fell on the worn wood. They do not move. They do not need to. At the center of the village, the well remains unchanged. Damp stones ring its opening, dark and smooth. Moisture clings to their surfaces, cool and steady. The rope hangs straight and motionless, disappearing into darkness below. The bucket remains unseen. The water waits, cold, deep, still. Beyond the village, the fields lie flat and dark. Rows of turned earth stretch outward, resting quietly beneath the night air. The soil holds the faint memory of the day's work. Hands, tools, movement now released. No frost shows yet, but the cold has reached even here, settling into the ground without sound. Above it all, the clouds pause. They do not gather, they do not thin. Darkness feels steady now, balanced and complete, resting evenly across the sky. There is no movement sharp enough to notice, no change that calls attention to itself. Time moves most slowly during this hour. It does not hurry, it lingers, careful not to disturb what sleeps. The village remains wrapped in the coldest part of night, quiet and protected, resting without awareness, waiting without knowing. The coldest hour passes without a sound. There is no clear ending to it, no moment when it releases its grip. The night does not announce a change. It simply eases, almost imperceptibly, into a different kind of stillness. Nothing wakes, nothing shifts. And yet, something has settled. The air feels different now, not warmer, not lighter, only steadier. As though everything has found the exact place it needs to remain until morning. The village rests within this balance without awareness, supported by it, held gently in place. Inside the cottage near the hearth, the woman continues to sleep. Her breathing keeps the same slow rhythm it has held for hours, even, unbroken. Each breath follows the one before without effort or delay. The blanket no longer shifts with movement. Her body has settled into the deepest rest it will reach tonight. There is no turning now, no small adjustment, just stillness, supported by bed and walls and darkness. The room feels calm rather than cold. The hearthstones are fully cool, yet the space holds together comfortably. Nothing creaks, nothing contracts. The walls stand steady. The ceiling rests where it always has. Darkness lies evenly across the floor and climbs the walls without interruption. The faint scent of smoke remains, familiar and unchanged. In the cottage near the well, the child remains asleep. The uncovered feet are still, toes relaxed, resting easily in the cool air. The blanket does not rise or fall except with breath. Sleep is deep and undisturbed, the kind that leaves no memory behind. The body does not stir. It does not need to. Breathing continues, soft and regular, moving quietly in the dark. The wooden chest at the foot of the bed sits where it always has. Its edges are known by touch. Its weight is familiar. It belongs fully to the room, just as the bed and walls do. Inside, the folded cloth rests neatly. The small wooden horse remains where it was placed, waiting without impatience. Outside, the street feels wider now. The silence has softened. It no longer presses inward. It stretches gently between the cottages, resting on the packed earth. The ground feels smooth and settled beneath the night air. No sound touches it. No movement crosses it. The dirt path curves through the village, pale and even. It waits without expectation. It has carried many footsteps, and it will carry many more, but not yet. For now, it rests exactly as it is. Near the stone wall at the edge of the village, the dog sleeps on. Its breathing remains slow and even, matching the rhythm of the night. The body is warm enough. The stone at its back is firm and reassuring. This place holds the dog easily. Nothing approaches. Nothing calls. Sleep remains unbroken. In the largest cottage, the candle has long since gone dark. The room is held entirely by shadow. The man remains asleep at the table, head lowered, hands resting where they fell. His breathing is steady, deep enough that it does not change with the hour. He does not stir. He does not dream. The darkness around him is complete and calm. At the center of the village, the well stands unchanged. Moisture clings to the stones, cool and steady. The rope hangs straight and still, disappearing into darkness below. The bucket rests unseen. The water remains untouched, waiting without movement. Above the village, the sky holds its darkness differently now. Clouds thin and drift, slow and quiet. The darkness feels broader, less dense, stretched gently across the sky. There is no light yet, but there is space for it to arrive when the time comes. This is the hour of holding, not night deepening, not morning arriving, just the long, quiet pause between them. Everything remains asleep. Time moves forward without sound, without pressure, carrying the village gently along. Nothing resists it. Nothing follows it. The hours pass as they always do, carefully and without demand. The village rests within this pause, steady and complete, as the night holds on just a little longer. The pause continues. Nothing breaks it. Nothing needs to. The village rests inside this final hour of night, as it has rested through all the others, supported, sheltered, and still. The darkness remains complete, but it no longer presses. It feels settled now, as though it has found its final shape and no longer needs to adjust. Everything within it rests easily, without effort, without resistance. The night has stopped changing. It simply holds. Inside the cottage near the hearth, the woman sleeps without turning. Her breathing remains slow and even, the same steady rhythm that has carried her through the night. Each breath arrives quietly, pauses, and leaves again, unchanged by time or hour. There is no variation now, no searching, just repetition, calm and dependable. The blanket lies smooth across her shoulders, warm and familiar. Its weight feels balanced, neither heavy nor light. The bed holds her weight easily, exactly as it has all night, offering support without drawing attention to itself. The room feels finished. Nothing could be added to it. Nothing needs to be taken away. The hearth is cold, its ashes pale and undisturbed. The stones no longer remember heat, only shape. The walls stand steady. The roof above does not shift. Darkness fits the space perfectly. It rests along the floor. It climbs the walls. It settles into corners without leaving gaps. The room feels complete, as though it has reached the form it was always meant to hold. There is no movement, no sound, only rest. In the cottage near the well, the child remains deeply asleep. The uncovered feet rest comfortably in the cool air, toes loose and relaxed. There is no tension in them now. The blanket does not move except with breath. The rise and fall is gentle and regular, so slow it becomes easy to lose track of it. Sleep has finished all the work it needs to do here. The body is quiet. The mind is quiet. The night holds both without effort, without expectation. The wooden chest at the foot of the bed stays closed. Its lid rests exactly where it always has. Its surface is smooth with age, familiar to the touch even in darkness. Inside, its contents wait patiently for another day. Folded cloth, simple belongings. The small wooden horse remains exactly where it was placed. Nothing inside is needed now. Nothing asks to be remembered. Outside, the street lies open and quiet. The packed earth is smooth and settled, resting between the cottages. It carries no sound. It reflects no light. It simply exists, holding the space between homes without demand or purpose. The cottages stand as they always have, close together, familiar shapes in the dark. Their walls lean slightly inward, sharing warmth without awareness. Doors remain shut, shutters remain latched. No light shows from within. The village has withdrawn fully into itself, content to remain there. The dirt path curves gently toward the fields, pale against the surrounding darkness. It rests empty and calm, holding no sound. It has carried many footsteps before, and it will carry many again, but for now it remains still, unchanged, patient. Beyond the path, the fields lie open and dark. The earth rests flat and quiet, holding the memory of hands and work without needing to release it yet. Nothing crosses the fields, nothing disturbs their surface. They remain wide and still beneath the night sky. Near the stone wall at the edge of the village, the dog sleeps on. Its body is still, breath slow and steady. Each breath moves gently, warming the air near its nose before fading again. The wall at its back is solid and reassuring. The ground beneath is firm and familiar. The dog does not stir, it does not listen. Sleep holds it fully. In the largest cottage, the man remains asleep at the table. His head is lowered. His hands rest where they have all night, relaxed and unmoving. His shoulders have released their last tension. Breathing is deep, even, and quiet, steady enough that it no longer changes. Darkness surrounds him completely. There is no flame, no shadow, just the room, holding him where he rests. At the center of the village, the well stands quiet. Damp stones ring its opening, cool and smooth beneath the air. Moisture clings to their surfaces without dripping or sound. The rope hangs straight and motionless, disappearing into darkness below. The bucket remains unseen. The water waits, calm, cold, unchanged. Above the village, the sky holds its darkness gently now. Clouds thin and drift without urgency, without direction. The darkness feels open rather than heavy. It stretches calmly across the sky, leaving room for what will come later without calling it forward. There is no signal yet, no hint, no need. The night loosens its hold, not into sound, not into movement, only into ease. The village does not wake. It simply rests more lightly, as though the night has finished shaping it and now leaves it exactly as it should be. Time continues without sound. Moments pass without edges. Nothing stirs, nothing calls. The village remains asleep, held safely in the quiet, as night completes its long work and settles into stillness, leaving everything whole, untouched, and at rest.